Hello, grade 5. Today, inshallah, we have our final revision for the first term. And first of all, let's remember together the important points that we studied in our curriculum. Here we have the decimal, and we have to remember that 1 over 10, how we can write it in decimal form, it's 0 0.1, and we're going to read it as 1/10. We have 1 over 100, it's 0 0.01 in decimal form, and we're going to read it as 100th. And 1 over 1000, so here it's 0 0.001, and we're going to read it as 1000th. Now, how we can read this number, grade 5? So to read any number, you have to start from the left. And here, this is decimal number. How we can read the decimal number? We have to know that the decimal number here divide into two parts. The first part here is the whole number, and here this is the decimal part. So this is the whole number, and this is the decimal part. Okay, first we're gonna start with the whole number. So here it's a 743. And here we have the decimal point, so we're gonna read it as and. So 743 and 159. So we're gonna stop? No, you have to mention here the last place of the digit in the decimal part. So here we're gonna read it as 743 and 159 thousandths. But first, let's remember together what is the place value. You said that we have to mention the place. Yes, we have something called place value, and you have to we have difference between the place value and value. So here, 3. So what is the place value of this digit? 3 here in one's place. And how we can write its value? So here the value is 3. So here 3 in one's place, and its value is 3. What about 4? 4 here in tens place, and its value is 40. What about here 7? 7 in hundreds place, and its value is 700. So what is the value? The value here, we're going to keep the digit and replace the other digits by zeros. What about 1? 1 here in tenth place, and its value is 0 0.1. So we're going to replace here the whole number by 0 and write 1. So here 0 0.1. What about the other digits? So here, if you want to write it 0 0.1, 0, it's okay. But when we have zeros to the right in the decimal part, so you can cancel it. So what about 5? 5 here in the hundredth place, and its value 0 0.05. What about 9 here? 9 here in thousandth place, and what about its value? Its value 0 0.009. So again, so there's difference between the place value and value. And please don't confuse, please, grade 5, because there are a lot of students make it wrong. Why? Because they are confused between the value and place value. So there is a difference. The place, you're gonna mention the place, it's ones, tens, hundreds, tenths, hundreds, thousands, okay? But the value, you're gonna keep the digit and replace the other digits by zeros, okay? And we know that we have multiple forms of the decimal. We can write any decimal number in standard form. We can write it in word form. We can write it in unit form and expanded form. So in standard form, we're going to write it in digits like this. So here we have 2.85. How we can write it in word form? If you can read it, you're gonna write it. If you can read it correctly, so you're gonna write it correctly. So here I told you that we have to read the number from the left. So this is what? This is 2 in the whole number. And when we have point, we're gonna read it. And then we're gonna read here the number in the decimal part. So it's 85. And don't forget, you have to mention the last here place. So the last place here is hundreds. So we're gonna read it as 2 and 8500. So we're gonna write it like this in the word form 2 and 8500. What about the unit form? The unit form here, you're gonna decompose the number according to the place value. So you're gonna here write each digit with its place value. So here we have 2 ones, 8 tens, and 500. So here, unit form that you're gonna write the digits with its place value. What about the expanded form? The expanded form, you're gonna write here each digit with its value. So unit form, we're gonna use here the place value, but expanded form, you're gonna write each digit with its place value. So here, 2 in 1, so we're gonna write it 2 plus 0.8 plus 0.05. Or we can write it in another way. We have many ways that you can write it in expanded form. So here we can write the whole number, and then you can write the decimal part. So we're gonna write it 2 plus 0.85. Okay? Okay, let's remember together how we can round the decimal numbers. First, if he asks me to round to the nearest whole number, to the nearest whole numbers mean that you're gonna round to the nearest ones. So you have first to underline the digit in the ones place, and then you have to circle the digit to the right. But you have to know that we classified the numbers, we can divide the numbers into two groups. We have the weak numbers and we have strong numbers. So the weak numbers, if we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are weak numbers. And the strong numbers, if we have 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So here, weak numbers, 4 or less, and 5 or more, they are strong numbers. Weak numbers, if we have weak number in the circle here, so what we have to do, you're gonna here keep the digit, the underlying digit. There is no change here. So, but if you have a strong number in the circle, so what you're gonna do, you're gonna add 1 to the underlying digit. So here, let's just check here. Here we have 6 in the circle, and 6 is weak or strong? Yes, it's strong. So here we'll give 1 to 5, so we have to add 1 to raise it. So here it's gonna be 86. What about the digit to the right? You can replace it by zeros. So here, the digit to the right, we're gonna replace it by zeros. But here, if you have decimal point and zeros to the right, so you don't have to write it. We can cancel it, guys. So we're gonna write it 86. That's it? Yes. Now, what about if I want to round to the nearest tenth? So you're gonna here underline the digit in the tenth place. So the here 1 in the tenth place, and what we have to do? Yes, you have to circle the digit to the right. So 6 here is strong or weak. Oh, the same number. Yes, it's strong. So we'll give 1, yes, we have to add 1 to the underlying digit, so it's gonna be 34.2. That's it? Yes. Here, round to the nearest hundred. So where the hundreds place? Yes, here. It's 5. Perfect, grade 5. So I'm gonna underline 5. And what about 7 here? I have to circle it and check. 7 here is weak or strong? Yes, is strong. So strong number will add 1 to the 5. So here we're gonna make it, it's a 9.16. And here we want to round to the nearest thousands, so you have to underline the digit in the thousands place. Okay, so here I'm gonna underline 3 and circle 4. So if we have 4 or less, so they are weak numbers, and the weak numbers will not give here the digit anything. So we're gonna keep it. So we're gonna write it 55.163. We're gonna keep it. We will not add anything here. Okay, so this is a round and decimal. Do you remember now? Great, grade 5. You're amazing. Okay, what about the greatest common factor and least common multiple? Let's remember together. So first, when we have any two numbers and he asked me to get the greatest common factor and the least common multiple, so you have to factorize each number to its prime factors. Each prime factors, what is the prime factors? Okay, so first, we have to remember that we have prime numbers and we have composite number. So what is the prime number and what is the composite number? The prime number, any number has only two factors. So the prime has only two factors. So 1 and the number itself. So 1 and the number itself. Okay, so like what? Like if we have 2, 2 is a prime number. We have 3, 3 is prime. 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 23, 19. All of them, they are prime numbers because they have only two factors. But what about the composite number? The composite number, if the number has more than two factors. If the number has more than two factors, it's called composite number, like 4. 4, we have 1 by 4 and 2 by 2. So here, 4 has more than two factors. If we have 9, 8, 10, 12, okay, 14, okay, all of them, they are composite number. So now you remember what is the prime and what is the composite, and you have to note that 1 here is the only number has one factor. So 1 is the only number has one factor, and it's not prime and it's not composite. Okay, so 1, it's not prime and it's not composite, okay, because it has only one factor. So, okay, now let's remember how we can factorize. So, okay, here we have 18. So we're gonna factorize it. So we're gonna ask myself what are the two numbers. If I multiply it, we can get 18. So we have 2 by 9, we have 3 by 6. So it's okay to write any two numbers. So here we have 3 by 6. Okay, so 3 here is prime. Yes, circle it and leave it. But 6 here, it's not prime. So we're gonna write it in a square like this and factorize it again. So 6 equals 2 by 3. So 2 and 3 here, they are what? There are prime numbers. So we're gonna here circle it and leave it like this, okay? So here, these are the prime factors of 18. What about here the prime factors of 24? So we have to factorize it. So what are the two numbers? If we multiply, we can get 24. So we have 4 by 6. So here 4 is prime number. No, we have to make it in square like this and factorize the end. So it's a 2 by 2. So 2 and 2, they are prime. So circle it and leave it. What about 6? 6 is 2 by 3. So they are prime factors. So what are the prime factors of 24? So we have 2 by 2 by 2 by 3. So we're going to write it here. So 18 equals 2 by 3 by 3. And if we have any common in the other number, so we're going to write it above each other like this. So here we have 2 and here we have 3. For this reason, we wrote it here above each other. So to get the greatest common factor, so you have to take only the common numbers and you're gonna take only one number from each column like this. Okay, so the greatest common factor, so we have 2, we're gonna write 2, and we have 3, so, and then you're gonna multiply only the common, and don't take here the all numbers in the columns. No, you're gonna take just one number from each column. So we have 2 is common, we're gonna write only 1, 2, and here we have 3 is common, you're gonna write only 1, 3. So here we have 2 by 3 equals 6. What about the least common multiple? The least common multiple here, you're gonna make here all the number in columns and we will take just one number from each column. So here we're gonna make it all in columns like this. And then we're gonna here write each number, okay, or just one number from each column. So here we have 2 by 3 by 3 by 2 by 2, okay, and you have to multiply them. So when we multiply them, we're gonna get is 72. So the greatest common factor here equals 6, and the least common multiple equals 72. Okay, here we wanted to multiply 35 by 42. How we can multiply? So we have many strategies. We can use it to multiply. So let's remember all the strategies that we took multiply. So here, the first one, we have area model. We can use the area model to multiply and get the product of these two numbers. And we have the standard algorithm, and we have the partial product. First, how we can use the area model. So let's make it together. So the area model, first you have to draw the rectangle. So let's draw our rectangle like this. Okay, so here we have two numbers. So these two numbers, we're going to decompose 35 into 30 and 5. And we're going to decompose 42 to be 40 and 2, like this. So here we have, this is the area of the rectangle, and here we have the first number. It's the length, or we can consider it the width, and here the other number is the length. So here we're gonna make it like this, and we're gonna draw the area model, and we're gonna multiply each two numbers to get the area of each small rectangle here. So here we have 30 by 40. So when we have zeros, we have to write it. So we have two zeros. We're gonna write it like this, and then you're gonna multiply 3 by 4 equals 12. And here we have 5 by 40. So here we're gonna write 0, and 5 by 4 equals 20. And 30 by 2. So here we're going to write 0 and multiply 3 by 2 equals 6, and 5 by 2 equals 10. Okay, so after this, we have to add all the products here inside the rectangles to get the final product of these two numbers. So here we have to add 1,200 plus 200 plus 60 plus 10. So it's easy. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 equals 0. 0 plus 0 plus 6 plus 1 equals 7. And 2 plus 2 equals 4. And then we're going to write 1. So it's 1,470. Okay, this is the product. Okay, what about the partial product? So here we're going to write these two numbers in vertical way like this. And then we're gonna here multiply 2 by 5 and 2 by 30. 40 by 5 and 40 by 30. Okay, 2 by 5 equals 10. 2 by 30 equals 60. 40 by 5, so equals 200. And 40 by 30, we're going to write the two zeros, and 4 by 3 equals 12. If you see here, we have the same products. So it's the same way. So, but here, maybe the difference in the form or in the shape that we're gonna use. So here, we got here the same product. So when we add them, so 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 equals 0, 1 plus 6 plus 0 plus 0 equals 7, and 2 plus 2 equals 4, and then we're gonna write 1, so it's 1,470. What about the standard algorithm? So the standard algorithm, so we're gonna write here the two numbers vertically like this, and then we have to multiply the whole numbers up by the first digit here. So here 5 by 2 equals 10, 0, and carry up 1. 3 by 2 equals 6, and plus 1 equals 7. Okay, so what we have to do, the second step, you're gonna add and don't forget to put 0. It's very important. Don't forget it, please. So here, when we start to multiply this number by the second digit, so here you have to put 0. Here, 5 by 4 equals what? Equals 20, 0 and carry up 2, and 3 by 4 equals 12 plus 2 equals 14. So let's add. So 0 plus 0 equals 0, 7 plus 0 equals 7, and here 4, and bring down 1. So it's the same answer, it's a 1,470. So here we have the three strategies that we can use to multiply any two numbers, okay? Okay, here we have division. So, and also we took many strategies to divide. So here, the strategies of the dividing, we have area model, we have Founder algorithm, and we have partial functions. First, how we can use here the area model. Before we start here, we have this number, the divisor. So let's remember the parts of the division. So here, this number is called what? This is called the dividend, and this is called divisor. And when we get the answer here is going to be the quotient. And if we have a remainder, anything rest, so it's called the remainder. Okay, so first we have to make the draft. Okay, okay, 15 by 1 equals 15, 15 by 2 equals 30, and 15 by 3 equals 45, and 15 by 4 equals 60, 15 by 5 equals 75, and here you don't have to complete because I don't know if I need all the table or not. So we're gonna here make our area model. So we're gonna make our rectangle like this. And here inside the rectangle, you're gonna start with the dividend with this number. So here, the first number inside the rectangle is the dividend here in our division equation. So we're gonna write 1,875. And here we have the divisor. We're gonna write the divisor here to the left. So okay, so what we're gonna do now, we have the draft, we have the area model, and now let's start to divide. How we can divide? In any strategy of these strategies, so we have to underline the first two digits because here the divisor is two-digit number, and you have to check if we can divide or not. So if the number that we underline it is greater than the divisor, so we can divide. But if it's less than, so we can't, and for this reason, we have to underline the first three digits. But here, 18 is greater than 15, yes, so we can divide. So here, let's check in the draft, which number is close to 18 here? Yes, here it's 15. So here we're gonna write 15, and up, we're gonna write 1 because 15 by 1 equals 15. So we're gonna here write this number down and put 1 up. But here, if you see, we have two digits left in the number in the dividend. So what we have to do, we're gonna replace them by zeros. So we're gonna replace them by zeros. And if we put two zeros here, we're gonna put two zeros up. And now we have to subtract. Okay, 5 minus 0 equals 5, 7 minus 0 equals 7, 8 minus 5 equals 3. So it's a 3, so it's a 375. Okay, what you end, you have to start. So this is the remainder. So we're gonna start with the remainder again to divide it again in the next step. So here we have 375. Okay, so what we have to do, we're gonna make the same steps. So here we have to underline here the first two digits, 37, and which number here is close to 37? Yes, it's a 30. So here we're gonna write 30, and up we're gonna write 2. Yes, and here there's one digit left. So what we have to do? Yes, you have to replace it by 0. And now we have to subtract. So 5 minus 0 equals 5. 7 minus 0 equals 7. 3 minus 3 equals 0. And what you here, huh? What you end, you have to start. So 75, and 75 divided by 15. If you see here, yes, we have the same one here. So we're gonna write 75, and up we're gonna write 5 and make it minus here, so it's a 0 0, and there's no remainder. What about the quotient? You have to add the quotients up to get the final quotient, to get the answer. So here we have 100 plus 2. Sorry, here when we put 0, we have to put 0 up. We forgot this. Why you don't remember me? Okay, so you have to remind me next time. So here, when we put 0 down, we have to put 0 up. Don't remember this point. Okay, now we have to add the quotients. So 100 plus 20 plus 5. So here, the quotient here, it's 125, and there is no remainder. The remainder here is 0. Okay, what about the partial quotients? Okay, the partial quotient, here we're gonna use the same draft, but we're gonna make here the model like this. So we're gonna write here the dividend, it's 1,875, and here we're gonna write the divisor, and we're gonna make the same steps, guys. The same steps, yes. So here we have the first two digits, we're gonna underline them, and here get the closed number, and it has to be less than this number. So here it's a 15, so we're gonna write here 15, and up we're gonna write 1 and then subtract. So here 8 minus 5 equals 3, and here what we have to do here, we have two digits left, so we have to put two zeros. Okay, so here, when we have here 15, so we're gonna write down 15, and here we have to write 1. So again, so we're gonna write 1. But the same here, we have two digits left. So what we have to do, we're gonna replace them by zeros, and if we have to put, if we put two zeros here, we have to put two zeros here. And now what we have to do, we're gonna subtract. So 5 minus 0 equals 5, and 7 minus 0 equals 7, 8 minus 5 equals 3. So we're gonna make the same steps, guys. So here we're gonna underline 37. So 37 here, which number is close to 37? So it's a 30. So here we're gonna write 30, and here we're gonna write 2. But when we have here one digit left, we're gonna replace it by 0, and if we put 0 here, we're gonna put 0 here. And now we have to subtract. 5 minus 0 equals 5, 7 minus 0 equals 7. Okay, it's a 75, so we're gonna divide. So which number here is close to 75? Yes, we have the same number, so we're gonna write 75, and here we're gonna write 5, and we're gonna subtract. So here we're gonna get two zeros. Now what we have to do to get the quotient, we have to add these partial quotient. So here we have 100 plus 20 plus 5, it's 125. This is our quotient. Okay, what about the standard algorithm? So the standard algorithm, so we're gonna write here, we're gonna make the same model. So here we're gonna write the dividend, and here we're gonna write the divisor, and we have to underline the first two digits. So 18 divided by 15. So here we're gonna write 1 up, and we're gonna write 15 and subtract. So here, 18 minus 15, 8 minus 5 equals 3. What we have to do here, the next step, you have to bring down the next digit. So we're going to bring down 7. So it's 37 divided by 15, which number is close to 37? Yes, it's 30. And up, I'm going to write 2, and here 30. So here, let's subtract. So 7 minus 0 equals 7, and then we have to bring down 5. So it's a 75. 75 divided by 15, we have here the same one, so we're gonna write up it's a 5, and here 75 and subtract, and here we have our happy zeros. Okay, so now we remembered how we can divide using area model to divide, partial quotient, and the standard algorithm. The powers of 10, also very important. Here, let's remember how we can convert any unit to the other unit. First, we have the units of the length. So when we convert from kilometer to meter, so we have to multiply by 1,000. And when we convert from meter to centimeter, we have to multiply by 100. And when we convert from centimeter to millimeter, so we have to multiply by 10. But if we wanted to convert in the inverse way, so here what we have to do, if we wanted to convert from meter to kilometer, we have to divide by 1,000. If we wanted to convert from centimeter to meter, we have to divide by 100. And when we convert from millimeter to centimeter, we have to divide by 10. What about if I wanted to convert from kilogram to gram? So in this case, we're going to multiply by 1,000. But if I wanted to convert from gram to kilogram, yes, I have to divide by 1,000. What about the liter and milliliter? So the liter, if I want to convert it to milliliter, so we have to multiply by 1,000. But if I wanted to convert it from milliliter to liter, so we have to divide by 1,000. But here, if I have decimal number and if I wanted to multiply 10 by 100 and 1,000, so what we have to do, you have to know that you have to move the decimal point to the right according to the number of zeros. How many steps? According to the number of zeros. So if I have to multiply by 10, so you have to move the decimal point to the right just one place because we have 1 0. If you multiply by 100, you're going to move the decimal point two places because here we have two zeros. Okay, and if you multiply by 1,000, so you're gonna here move the decimal point three places to the right. Okay, and here they are equivalent if we divide by 0.1, 0.01, 0.001. In this case, if I want to divide by 0.1, so you're gonna here move the decimal point to the right. Yes, yeah, one place. And then if you divide by 0.01, you're going to move the decimal point two places to the right. And if you divide by 0.001, you're going to move the decimal place, okay, the decimal point, how many places? Three places to the right, okay? What about if we divide by 10, by 100, by 1,000? Okay, in this case, you're going to move the decimal point to the left. So here, if I wanted to divide by 10, we're going to move it to the left just one place. Divided by 100, you're going to move the decimal point two places to the left. And divided by 1,000, you're going to move the decimal point three places to the left. Okay, and they are equivalent to, if we multiply by 0.1, multiply by 0.01, multiply by 0.001, in this case, you're gonna move the decimal point also to the left, not to the right. To the right, if we multiply by 10, 100, and 1,000, okay? And now we have the order of operations. So here you want to evaluate 40 divided by 8 multiply 0.1 plus 14.95. So how we can here solve like these problems? We have here many operations in just one problem. So how we can make it, and we have to start with what? We're going to start with the division, we're going to start with multiplying, or we're going to start with adding. So what do you think? So actually here we have rules for the order of operation. So first, you have to make the operation inside the parentheses or the brackets if you have. Then you have to multiply and divide in order from the left to the right. And finally, you're going to add and subtract in order from the left to the right. So first here, you're gonna check what we have. We have parentheses or brackets, yes. So we have to make it first. So we're gonna here write 40 divided, and then you have to get here the answer of this operation. So 8 multiply 0.1. So when we multiply by 0.1, so it's the same if we divide by 10. So we can here divide by 10. So 8 divided by 10 equals 0.8. And then we have to add 14.95. So this is the first step. Okay, what about the next one? The next one here, if we have multiplying or dividing from the left to the right. Yes, so we have to divide. Oh, so it's 40 divided by 0.8. So it's divided by decimal. Oh, so we have to remember how we can divide by decimal. So I told you, if we have here the divisor is decimal number, we can divide by the decimal number. So what we have to do, we have to convert this divisor to whole number. So here 0.8, we have to multiply by 10. And if we multiply the divisor by 10, so we have to multiply the dividend by 10. So here it's a 400 divided by 8, okay, plus 14.95. Now we have to divide 400 divided by 8. So here 40 divided by 8 equals 5, and 0 divided by 8 equals 0. And here we have to add 14.95. Okay, so when we have something like this, we have here whole number, and here we have decimal number. Okay, so it's better to make it in vertical way. So here we're gonna write 50 plus 14.95. Okay, so here the whole number here, I don't have the decimal part, so for this reason I'm gonna write here decimal point and 2 zeros. So here I'm gonna add 0 plus 5 equals 5, and 0 plus 9 equals 9, and then we have 0 plus 4 equals 4, and 5 plus 1 equals 6. So here the answer is 64.95. Okay, and now let's practice, guys, and solve more questions. Okay, first here we have the number 4 and 41,000. How we can write it in a standard form? So we have 4, so we're gonna write 4, and is the decimal point 41,000. So we're gonna write it like this, 4 and 41,000. No, so it's gonna be wrong. Why? Because here it's a 4 and 41 hundredths. But here, when we have thousands, so you have to know that we have 3 digits in the decimal part. So we're gonna write it as 4 point. Here we don't have tenths, so we're gonna write 0 and then 41. So it's a 4 and 41,000, so 4.041. Okay, so this one. Okay, the underlying digit in 27.614, in which place? So let's remember again how we can get the correct place. So here the decimal point, the first digit after the decimal point to the right in tenths, this is in hundred, and this is in what? In thousands of place. So this is in thousands of place. In number 432.519, which digit in the hundreds place? So if you know the correct places, so you will get here the correct digit. So here, this is tens, this is hundreds, and this is thousands. So which one in the hundreds place? Yeah, is 1. Okay, which number of the following has 300s, 7 ones, 2 thousands? So this number is written in unit form and I want to write it in standard form. So here we have 1, so I'm going to write ones, 7 ones. This is for the whole number. Okay, 300s, 2000. So I'm going to here put the decimal point. There is any tens? No, there is no tens. So I will put 0 and I have 300s. I'm going to write 3 and 2000. So it's a 2. So 7.032. This is 1. Okay, what is the standard form for 60 plus 3 plus 0.5 plus 0.004? So this is expanded form and I want to write it in standard form. So we're going to compose the number. So 60 plus 3 equals 63. This is for the whole number. And then I'm going to write the decimal point. Here we have 5 in the tens. We have any hundreds? No. So we're going to write 0. And then we have 4 in thousands. So here it's 63.504. So which one here? This one. Okay. Here we have 3.4, 3.24, and in the other side we have 3.239. So how we can compare, guys? So we're gonna compare that we have to start from the left and compare the two whole numbers. So here I have 3 in the whole and here I have 3 in the whole, so they are the same. Okay, then you have to compare the tenth place. So I have here 2 and here the same, I have 2. So I have to compare now the hundreds. So now you have here 4 and here we have 3. So which one is greater? Yes, 4 in the hundreds here is greater. So 3.24 is greater 1. So it's greater than this one. Okay, so 1900s and 19,000s. So which one is greater? 1900s, if I want to write it in standard form, so we're going to write it 0.19 and 19,000s, so we're going to write it 0.019. So what do you think? Which one is greater? So here I have 1 in 100 in tenth, and here I have 0 in tenth. So which one is greater? Yeah, this one. So 0.19 is greater. Okay, so 7 tenths minus 7 thousandths. Okay, how we can solve like this kind of the questions. So first you have to write it in standard form. So 7 tenths, so I'm gonna write 7 tenths, it's 0.7 and 7 thousandths, so it's 0.007 and you have to subtract. What we have to do, you're gonna put here 2 zeros in the empty places. So 2 zeros in the empty places. Now we have to start from the right to subtract. 0 minus 7 can be. So here it's going to be 10. This is going to be 9. And this one going to be 6. So 10 minus 7 equals 3. 9 minus 0 equals 9. And 6 minus 0 equals 6. And here the decimal point and 0. So it's a 0.693. Yes, this one. Okay. Now we have 3.408 and 348 divided by 100. So how we can write this in decimal form? So here when we have 2 zeros, we're going to move the decimal point here 2 places to the right. So here it's 1, 2. So it's going to be 3.48. Now we can compare. So here in the whole number we have 3. Here in the tenth we have 4. But in the hundreds here we have 0. And here we have 4. And here we have 8. So which one is greater? Yeah, this one is greater one. So it's less than. Okay, 5 how we can write it in standard form? We're gonna write it 5.005, and here we have 5.05. So which one is greater? Yeah, this one. So here we have 0 in tenths, 0 in tenths, 0 in hundredths, but here we have 5 in hundredths. Okay, round this number. Okay, so I want to round it here to the nearest what? To the nearest tenth. So here I have to circle the digit to the right. It's 9. 9 here is what? Is a strong number. So it will give here the underlying digit 1. Yes, to be 8.1. We have to add 1 to the underlying digit. It's going to be 8.1. Okay, here you want to round this number to the nearest thousandth. So here, where the thousandths place, guys? Yes, this one. So this one, yep. So here I'm gonna circle the digit to the right. So here we have 2.5698. So we underline this one and circle this one. So this is strong. Yes, we'll give 9 1. Yes, we have to add 1. So when we add 1 here, so 1 plus 9 equals 10. So we're going to write 10 and then 6, 5.2 like this. No, this is going to be wrong. So 1 plus 9 equals 10. And you know that we have to put 0 and carry up 1. Okay, so here we're going to carry up 1 above 6, and 1 plus 6 equals 7. And here 5, and here 2 points. So it's a 2.57. This is the correct answer, guys. So 2.57. Okay, here we have 42.81. I wanted to round it to the nearest whole number. So to the nearest whole number, so we're gonna underline here the digit in the ones place and circle 8. So 8 here is weak or strong? What do you think? Yes, is strong. We'll give to 1. Yes, it's gonna be 43. Okay, here here I have 160.754. I want to round it to the nearest tenth. Okay, to the nearest tenth, where's the 10th place? So this is the 10th place. I'm going to underline it and circle the digit to the right. So 5 is weak or strong? Is strong. So we'll give 7 1. Yes, we have to add 1 to 7 to be 8. So it's going to be 160.8. Okay, the least common multiple of 6 and 10. So here we have to factorize 6 to be 2 by 3. And here 2 is prime, circle it and leave it. 3 is prime, circle and leave it. So what are the prime factors of 6? Are 2 and 3. What about 10 here? 10 is 2 by 5. So here 6 equals 2 by 3, and 10 we have 2 by 5. If we have common, we're gonna write it above each other. If here we don't have common, we're gonna leave a space because we don't have 3 here factor for 10. No, we don't have it. So for this reason, we have to leave a space and write multiply 5 away. Okay, now what we have to do, we're gonna here make it in columns like this. So the LCM, so we're gonna take just one number from each column. So 2 by 3 by 5. So 2 by 3 equals 6, 6 by 5 equals 30. Okay, so here the least common multiple is 30. What about the least common multiple of 5 and 6? So here you have 5 here is prime, so we don't have to factorize it, okay? And 6, we already factorized it to be 2 and 3, so 5 here equals 5, and 6 equals 2 by 3. So what are the factors here that we're gonna multiply together? So we're gonna make here each number in the columns like this, and we're gonna get the least common multiple. So it's a 5 by 2 by 3, so the same here. 5 by 2 equals 10, 10 by 3 equals 30. So what is the least common multiple for 5 and 6 is 30. Okay, which of the following is an expression? So let's remember together what is the difference between the expression and the equation. So the equation here, if we have any equal in the middle between the two sides, this is an equation. But the expression, it consists of numbers, operation, and some symbols, and it doesn't contain equals. But the equation is an expression, but it contains equals. Okay, and you have to know that the equation and the expression, it doesn't contain words. Okay, they don't contain words, guys, the expression and the equation. So here, what is an equation? This is an equation. This is, sorry, an expression. No, this is an equation. So this is equation. What about this? This is not expression and not equation. What about this one? We have equals? No. So this is expression. And what about this? This is an equation. Okay, which of the following is an equation here? So this is an equation. No, this is expression. What about this? This is an equation. Yes, this is an equation. So here he wanted me to select the equation. This is the equation one. What about this? This is not equation and not expression. And here, this is an expression. Okay. Okay, here we wanted to solve this equation to get here the value of x. Actually, we took two methods to get here the value of x. So you have the bar model, you can use it, or you can use the inverse operation. What is the inverse operation? The inverse operation, if you have here a number with the plus, so you can move it to the other side with the inverse sign. So when we have plus, we can move it to the other side with the minus. So to get x here, we have to subtract. Okay, so here we have 65.9 minus 53.8. So 9 minus 8 equals 1, 5 minus 3 equals 2, and 6 minus 5 equals 1. So it's a 12.1. This is the value of x. Okay, here when we have minus, we have to move it to the other side with plus. So here we have to add to get the value of m. So here we have 5.21 plus 2.38. So 1 plus 8 equals 9, 2 plus 3 equals 5, and decimal point, and 5 plus 2 equals 7. So it's a 7.59, okay? This is the bar model, guys. So here you have to note that up we have the whole and down we have the parts. So if we have the whole and we have one of the parts and we wanted to get the other part, so what we have to do, we have to subtract. But if we have the two parts and I wanted to get the whole, we have to add the two parts. So here how we can get m. So in this case, we have to subtract because we have whole and one part. We have to subtract. So here I'm gonna subtract 8.368 minus 5.032. So 8 minus 2 equals 6, 6 minus 3 equals 3, 3 minus 0 equals 3, decimal point 8 minus 5 equals 3. It's a 3.336, 3 and 336,000. So this one. Okay, all the factors of 25. So what are the factors of 25? So here we can use the t-chart. So what are the factors. We have 1 by 25 and we have 5 by 5. And here when we have the numbers repeated, we don't repeat it when we write the factors. So what are the factors of 25? 1, 5, and 25. 1, 5, and 25. This one. Which of the following is a prime number? And we remember together what is a prime number. The prime has only two factors, which here one has only one factor. It's not prime, it's not composite. 3 is prime, yes, but 9 and 15, they are composite number. Which of the following is not prime number? Here 2 is prime, yes, 2 is prime. 5 is prime, yes. 7 prime, yes, but what about 9? 9 here, it's not prime, so it's a composite number. The greatest common factor of 18 and 27. So what we have to do? We have to factorize. So let's factorize. So 18, when we factorize 18 and when we factorize 27. So 18 equals what by what? So we have 2 by 9. And 9 here, it's not prime. So we're going to write it in circle. Write it in square like this and 2 in circle. So here 9 is 3 by 3. What about 27? So 27 is 3 by 9 and 9 is 3 by 3. So here we have 18 equals 2 by 3 by 3. What about 27? 27 equals 3 by 3 by 3. Okay, so if we don't have common, we have to leave a space like this. Now we have to get only the common for the greatest common factor. So the common here, we have 3 and we have 3. So the greatest common factor, we're going to multiply the common. So it's a 3 by 3 equals what? Equals 9. So 9 here is the greatest common factor of 18 and 27. Okay, here there are how many meters in 5 kilometers? In 5 kilometers, we have, yes, 5,000. Why? Because when we convert from kilometer to meter, we have to multiply by 1,000. So here it's 5,000. What about here? How many grams in 6 kilograms? So when we convert from kilogram to grams, we have also to multiply by 1,000. So it's 6,000 grams in 6 kilograms. Okay, this is the area model. How we can get the missing? So it's easy to get the missing. We have to multiply these two numbers. So 700 by 50. So here we have to put the 3 zeros. And 7 by 5 equals 35. So it's a 35,000. 831 multiplied 49 is close to. So here, actually you can here estimate this number and then you can multiply. Or you can multiply and then you can estimate it. Okay, so let's multiply first 831 by 49. Okay, so 1 by 9 equals 9. So we're going to use the standard algorithm here. And 3 by 9 equals 27, 7 and carry up 2. 8 by 9 equals 72. And 72 plus 2 equals 74. Plus, and don't forget to put the 0. Okay, 1 by 4 equals 4. And 3 by 4 equals 12. And carry up 1. And 8 by 4 equals 32 plus 1 equals 33. So here we have to add 9 plus 0 equals 9, 7 plus 4 equals 11, 1 and carry up 1, 1 plus 4 equals 5, 5 plus 2 equals 7, 7 plus 3 equals 10, 0 and carry up 1, so 1 plus 3 equals 4. So here it's 40,719. So 40,719 is so close to which number here? Yes, it's so close to 40. Okay, the missing number in the products. So here we have to multiply this number by 4. So 3 by 4 equals 12, 2 and carry up 1. 2 by 4 equals 8 plus 1 equals 9. And 7 by 4 equals 28. So it's a 2,892. This is the missing number. And here we use the standard algorithm like we made here. Okay, in this equation, what is the quotient? So the quotient, let's remember again, what are the parts of the division? So this is called the what? This is called the dividend, and this is divisor, and this quotient. So what is the quotient here? The quotient is 9. Okay, the divisor in the equation here, this equation 48 divided by 6 equals 8. So this one is what? Yes, this is dividend, and this divisor. And what about this one? This is quotient. So here 48 dividend, and he asked you about the divisor, so the divisor is 6. Okay, here you wanted to get the remainder. So how we can get the remainder? Actually, here we have to divide. So let's divide, guys. So 2,465 divided by 16. Okay, here I have 24. So we're going to underline it and divide it by 16. So we need the draft of table 16. 16 by 1 equals 16. 16 by 2 equals 32. Okay, so 24 here is close to 16, and up we're going to write 1. Okay, and subtract. So 4 minus 6 can be, so it's going to be 14, and this one is going to be 1. 14 minus 6 equals 8, and then we're going to bring down 6, so it's 86 divided by 16. So we already know what is going to be the number, so it's 16 by 4 and 16 by 5. We have to make it. 6 by 4 equals 24, and carry up 2, and 1 by 4 equals 4 plus 2 equals 6, and here 6 by 5 equals 30, 0 and carry up 3, 1 by 5 equals 5 plus 3 equals 8, so here it's 80. So here we're going to write 80, and up I'm going to write 5 and subtract. So 6 minus 0 equals 6, and 8 minus 8 equals 0, and we have to bring down 5. So it's 65 divided by 16. Yes, here we're going to write 64, and up we're going to write 4. So here we have to subtract 5 minus 4 equals 1, and this is our remainder. So here the quotient is 154, and the remainder is 1. Okay, 98.7 multiplied by 100. When we multiply by 10, 100, or 1000, what we have to do with the decimal point? We have to move it to the, yes, to the right. So here we have to move the decimal point to the right 2 places. So 1, but we don't have to. So for this reason, we have to put 0. So 1, 2. So here it's going to be 9,870. 2.3 multiplies 0.01. When we multiply by 0.01, it's the same if we divide by 100. So when we divide by 100, we have to move the decimal point to the, yes, to the left. 2 places, 1, and we don't have to, we have to put 0. So here's the decimal point and 0. So it's going to be 0.023. 0.023, this one. Okay, so here the decimal point in the product 3.9 multiplied 4.25 is after how many decimal places? So here we have to count the decimal places that we have. So here we have 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna put here the decimal point after 3 places from the right. Okay, so let's remember now how we can multiply the decimal numbers. Okay, so here we have 0.025 multiply 0.04. So here we're gonna multiply the numbers, the whole numbers, okay, and we're gonna ignore the decimal point. And after we finish, we're gonna put the decimal point. So here 5 by 4 equals what? Equals 20, 0, and carry up 2, and 2 by 4 equals 8 plus 2 equals 10. So it's going to be 100. Now we have to put the decimal point. Don't forget the decimal point after you finish the multiplying. So here, how many decimal places? So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to put the decimal point after 5 places from the right. So here we're going to count from the right. So 1, 2, 3. I don't have 4 and 5. So for this reason, I'm gonna write here 2 zeros. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're gonna put the decimal point here. There's nothing here. Yes, we're gonna put 0. So it's a 0.001. This is the correct answer. 0.001. Here 0.15 multiply 39.8, and the other side we have, do you see here or do you notice that we have the same digits? So we're gonna multiply this and we're gonna multiply this and compare the two products? No. So what we're gonna do, we have easier method. What is the easier method? That you're gonna count here the decimal places. So 1, 2, 3. So here we have 3 decimal places. Okay, what about this? 1, 2, 3. So 3 decimal places. So here they are the same decimal places, so they are equal. This is in case if we have the same digits. Do you see here we have the same digit, but the decimal point or the position of the decimal point is different. So for this reason, we can use this method. But mass, if we have here different places in the two sides, what we have to do? The less decimal places, the less number of decimal places is the greater one. So the less number of decimal places is the greater one. Okay, here, what is the rule of the pattern? This pattern, so we have 3, 7, 11, and 15. So what is the rule here? So here the numbers increase. So maybe we add or maybe we multiply. So we have to check here. 3 became 7 and 7 became 11. So here, yes, we add and we add 4. So what is the rule? The rule is n plus 4. And here, the rule of this pattern, we have 3, 6, 12, 24, so the numbers increases. So for this reason, maybe we add or multiply. So if we add, we're going to add 3 to be 6. And when we add 3 to 6, it's going to be 9, but this is not 9. So here, addition doesn't work. So we try to multiply. So 3 multiply 2 equals 6, and 6 multiply 2 equals 12, and 12 multiply 2 equals 24. Yes, so we multiply by 2. This is our rule. Okay, 3 divided by 0.5. I told you before, when we have the divisor is decimal number, we can divide. So for this reason, we have to convert it to whole number. So I will multiply by 10 and multiply by 10. If we multiply the divisor by 10, we have to back to the dividend and multiply by 10. So it's going to be 30 divided by 5, and 30 divided by 5 equals 6. Here in this problem, he asks you, what is the first step that you're going to do? Here we have minus, by, plus, and minus. So you're going to start with multiplying. Yes, so here the first step, we have to multiply 3.5 by 0.2. Okay, here we have 83 plus 45 divided 9 minus 5. So what we're going to do, what is the first step? Yes, we have to divide. When we have multiplying or dividing, we have to start with this. So here 45 divided by 9 equals 5. So here we have 83 plus what? 83 plus 5 minus 5. Now we have to add 83 plus 5. 3 plus 5 equals 8. So it's 88 minus 5. So 88 minus 5 equals 83. So the answer is 83. And we have finished our revision. Alhamdulillah, so I wish Good luck for all, and thank you so much, grade 5. Bye bye.